Hello, and welcome to the Death Battle Cast. I still don't know how to intro this show, but we are.
That was a good intro.
Here
I
to
liked
thank
it.
you.
I was excited.
Appreciate that.
But also,
Ready
you
to
know,
take
that.
why learn
Involved?
now? We've gone this
Yeah.
far.
We're at like episode 300 and something, right? I don't know how
Yeah.
many episodes of the
A
show
lot.
we've done.
Very
A
much.
lot.
Very big number.
How is the
Number
show
lot
still on the
episode.
air? I don't know. Anyway, hey, I'm Ben. I play Wiz in Death Battle. Joining me is there's Liam. He writes and directs Death Battles.
What's up, everybody?
He knows a lot of stuff. That's Josh.
Not
He also
really.
writes and directs Death Battles.
Hello.
Not
Very
useful
excited for this
information.
episode.
I know a lot of
Yeah, well-
useless information.
Sure, you know a lot of
Barbo.
useless information. I think Josh might know a little bit more useful information.
Yeah, no. I wasn't
We'll see.
commenting on Josh's information.
I'll take that.
Purely on my yeah.
It's
We are
relative.
also joined by, I see some people asking if it's a guest. This is not a guest. This is Embu. Embu, welcome to the
Hi.
show. Would you like to tell everybody who you are?
Hi everyone. So I'm Embu. I do a lot of community stuff. I post community stuff. I do community stuff. Name community stuff. I do it.
If you
Ooh.
have been on the Discord or in the community chat or looked at our Twitter, you've seen this guy doing his thing. He's been basically managing community shenanigans for Death Battle for a while now. He's amazing.
Mhm.
I'm
really-
so happy to have you. I don't know why we didn't have you on the show earlier, man.
Yeah.
like,
For real.
I've been
it's
saying
great to have
this.
you here.
Been chomping at the bit. My time is now. I'm ready.
Yes, it's great to have you here. This is going to be great. There are some things we definitely need to. We have a lot to talk about today. We have a new Death Battle coming up, the mid-season premiere or mid-season finale, sort of, but I can't get into that too much. We've got some information about the community to talk about. We got a sneak peek to show later on today.
Ooh.
We've got a show that was previously gone and forgotten, undusted and coming back. Yeah, we got a lot to talk about. So first things first, let's talk about what our community death battle for today is going to be. It's a big one. It's a weird one, but it's one I've seen requested a lot. So we'll see how this goes.
It's what
we're
Liam
gonna
wants
be-
to do a lot.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it a lot. I'm more so just intimidated by it.
Please.
Because I love. Well, okay, it is Rick Sanchez versus the Doctor.
Yeah.
Really it should be. Well, yeah. Doctors, I suppose.
Yeah.
So here's how this is going to work. It's our job, or I'm going to be arguing for the Doctor, and Liam is going to be arguing for Rick, and it's our job to convince the jury to vote for our character for who would win in a death battle. Jury consists of 3 seats. It's going to be Embu, it's going to be Josh, and it's going to be you watching this right now. There will be a poll up near the end of the show that you can vote on to decide who should win. There was already a poll in the community tab on the YouTube channel. Some of you don't know what the Doctor's capable of. I see. It's going to be fun.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
sleeping.
Oh, I'm
They're
so
sleeping
excited.
on. They're
Well, you
sleeping.
know,
I mean, that's one of the big reasons to do this episode too, is to like show off these two characters that are seemingly just like two dudes, but are unbelievably OP, like brain
In some very
fuckingly
strange ways.
insane. Yeah, in
Yes.
very strange ways.
Yeah. So, and also, I feel like both shows are you're either into them or you're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially Doctor Who, which like when
Yeah.
it first came back in the mid 2000s. When did it come back?
Early 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, like it was a big new thing, but now it's had a run that's been going on for over a decade or so, and it's gotten to that point where it's like you either have been watching the show for years and years and years, or you're not starting now.
Yeah, you
Like,
either watch it and you're like, okay, I can jive with this. Like I saw it and I was like, it took me a while, but I did the first series. I did the Eccleston series, and I really liked it. Like asterisk, I really liked it, accepting the things about it that are
That's a very
terrible.
TV show.
You know what that means? You know what I mean by
Yeah,
that?
you
Like,
got to have a very specific sort of
Yeah.
mindset
it's
for
kind of like
Doctor
Star
Who.
Trek. It's kind of like
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
Star Trek too, kind of. Even like
It's.
TNG.
I was told to start with Tenet, and then I went back and caught Eccleston later. But
Oh,
I
interesting.
appreciate that piece of advice. I started with Tenet, did
Ah.
Matt Smith, and then went
I
back.
like Eccleston.
And it was-
yeah.
I started
It was a
with Tenet
positive
2, and then
experience.
I went to Smith. And then, like, after that, I was like, oh, let me go check out the wiki and see what this is about.
Mhm.
And I didn't expect to see an actual novel.
Oh,
chronicle
there's like
of
it's
stories
like
to
a
keep
up
mountain.
with.
This franchise
Yeah.
is absurd. There's like episodes that are like forever lost to time that will never get
Mhm.
back. Feats
Mhm.
that will never calculate.
So technically,
We'll
the
never
answer
know.
to this matchup is completely unknown. There could
Yeah.
have been an episode
Where he, like,
with the first or second Doctor where he like, well, I was
punches a
about to say where
multiverse.
he. I was about to say where he like affects the multiverse, but actually that's going to be a thing I'm going to
Actually, yeah.
actually. All right. So, as always, this isn't a courtroom. Everybody can get involved. All the jurors, people here on
Rural
the show,
juror.
and you in the chat.
30 Rock
There are a bunch of
reference.
members in the chat, seeing a lot of awesome badges scrolling up. Love to see it.
darlings.
Already seeing some
Yay.
people making some good arguments for the Doctor. Thank you.
Oh, you make arguments for Rick. You guys
Also, some
nobody's got
debating
arguments
about
for it.
specific doctors, which to that I say, we can't cannibalize ourselves. We have a united front. They're all
Yeah, they're the
it's
same.
all the
I mean, they're the
Doctor.
same, all the same person, right? I mean, they have different personalities, but their memories and experience and knowledge are all
Yeah.
the same. So it counts.
Let's go ahead and hit that elephant out of the room real quick, because the Doctor
Fucking
Who
hit that
has
elephant.
Get out of here.
yeah, just punt that elephant out here. So the Doctor is obviously multiple people across multiple times. Some of whom have been Doctors, some of whom have not been Doctors, especially as of the most recent 13th Doctor and the revelation that they were not always the Doctor. They were the Timeless Child, and there have been multiple Timeless Childs, etc. Here's the thing, and I know a lot of people will have issues with the Timeless Child thing, but let's be frank here. Doctor Who has always had very loose canon. Like Timeless Child is not the first time they've been like, yeah,
not the weirdest
fuck
thing
it.
they've done. Yeah.
They've done that a lot of times. Okay.
Yeah.
So what is canon and what isn't with Doctor Who is like a question that just can't really be answered. So I think the easiest thing to do is just say, just combine it all. Like it's all
Yeah.
one story anyway. It's not
Yeah.
like there are a couple, what if scenarios for the Doctors. There are a few like what if Doctors, right? I wasn't looking at those when I went into this. I just looked at the main Doctors and Timeless Children, which aren't really going to add anything really. And the War Doctor, that kind of thing. And it's all the same person. When a Doctor regenerates and becomes a new person, they are technically it's complicated because each Doctor views the next Doctor as differently. Either they feel like they are evolving and going into a new stage of life, or that is a completely different person. Tennant is famous for his "I don't want to go" line because his Doctor is, they've made fun of this a lot, is very self-centered. So much so that he regenerated into himself once.
Wait, what? Wait.
Yeah,
move.
technically
Just boss move.
Tennant is the 10th. Technically, Tennant is the 11th and 12th Doctors.
Oh Lord.
He regenerated
it-
into himself.
Yes,
Was
he
was
did.
this like midway into a series? They were like, "Ooh, we're gonna fake you out by having regeneration."
They did a fake out. They almost did a
Gotcha.
fake out regeneration, and then he absorbed his own hand into himself.
Nice.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
How else
Call
would
that
he
a
do it?
Saturday fucking
But
night.
but that's
Yeah.
why Matt Smith's 11th Doctor is actually the 13th Doctor.
Gotcha.
And that's a big part of his regeneration story. Anyway, the point is each of them views the next Doctor differently, but each Doctor may be their own person, but they have all the experiences and memories of the other Doctors intact. Otherwise, the show wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Like if they became a new person each time and they're just like, what is this? Sometimes they do start each regeneration going, how do I fly the TARDIS? Like
That's true. Yeah. That's always a scene.
because some of them have to like sort of reboot a little bit. It's weird. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There's not really, as far as I could tell, a good reason why some regenerations are a little more difficult to deal with than others. Some of them are just like they snap into it and they're good to go. a great example is not the Doctor necessarily, but River Song. There's an episode, I think it's called "Let's Kill Hitler," where River Song regenerates in the middle of it after getting shot, and she's just like, "Oh, I look great. Let's keep going." I mean, it does mention that she's like still getting messed with by the regeneration, and it's kind of messing with her brain, but she's like able to still do stuff, right? She's not down and out for a while, which sometimes the regeneration does do. So how the regeneration plays into this is going to be tricky, because it's sort of a wild card, like a random element, because it could also just completely obliterate people. Like he's regenerated so much that he's blown up spaceships.
Well, thankfully,
with his regeneration,
that's not going to be an issue here, because Rick Sanchez has laser guns that completely disintegrate you, like total disintegration, no chance to fucking regen. Sorry,
okay, you know what?
Doctor.
You know what?
Oh boy,
it's a good thing he survived the disintegration beams before. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Fantastic.
We should do the 60-second.
We
should do the 60-second thing. Liam, do you want to start?
Oh, right. We have to do that. I was like, we're just kind of
just do it. Yeah, we've kicked the elephant out of the room.
Yes,
right?
Elephant's gone. Bye,
also,
elephant.
I'm gonna say regeneration does not necessarily mean a death. Like if you kill him and he regenerates, like that's not a death, because he regenerates instantly. He's not out of the fight per se.
But he is left, at least with the 10. I remember with the Eccleston Tenant, he was left like fucked up.
Yeah.
Like he didn't fight.
That's what I mean by wild card. All right.
Yeah.
60 seconds for Rick. Let's go.
Okay, Rick Sanchez, smartest man in the universe, and there are an infinite number of universes where he's the smartest man in the universe. Rick C-137 is the main one. He's the Rickest Rick. He's the Rickest Rick of them all. He's an absolute fucking genius with a smorgasbord of insane sci-fi technology. It's mind-bending. It's crazy. He can match Doctor Who. He can match the Doctor with all of his technology, no matter what the Doctor's got. And in a straight fight, he just absolutely will completely demolish. Like, the Doctor is an impressive fighter. He's cool, I guess, but he's less of like a warrior in a singular battle sense. He's a brilliant tactician and strategist and can engage in combat and has been in wars, but in an actual one-on-one head-to-head battle with somebody like Rick, he usually has to run away. And Rick's not going to let him do that. Rick is just going to steamroll over him with his brilliance and his weapons.
Okay. Interesting that you bring that up. All right, because I know how to start this then.
Oh, there's
60 seconds on the clock. The Doctor. Everybody thinks he's a pacifist. Everybody thinks he's a peaceful fellow who's there to just save you. The Doctor is a war hero and a war criminal. The Doctor is a generous savior and a psychopath murderer. The guy has been everything, everywhere. He is thousands and thousands of years old. So old that he doesn't even know how old he is. He's been through, speaking about whether or not he's a warrior, he has been through a war that lasted for at least 900 years, given that he died by old age at the end of it. But I don't even know if I could even count it as 900 years, because technically the war lasted in every single, it existed in every time and place throughout everything. And he survived it and ended it himself. He is absolutely a warrior, and he's gonna fuck up Rick. There's really no way around it. And I haven't even gotten into what he can do.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So the doctor does tend to run away from conflict, right? Like that's sort of his thing, especially in the newer series, because they sort of have this ongoing plot with the first, with the 9th, 10th, and 11th Doctors, that they are running from how they literally genocided the Time Lords and the Daleks. Like that's why he runs from conflict in those shows.
That is not
scared of it.
He is there is plenty of times where he's like, oh fuck, we gotta go. I can't fight these guys. I gotta run. That you can't. Yeah, okay. The Dalek episode in series 9, this is the only series I've seen. Yeah, like that was a case of him grappling with
he was gonna obliterate the Dalek. He was
I
ready
know.
to kill it.
Yeah.
The doctor once
I'm not
met
saying
Robin Hood.
he can't defeat a Dalek.
The doctor
I'm
once
saying
met
that, like,
Robin
he's
Hood.
not this, invincible warrior.
The
He's a
doctor
survivor,
once met.
sure.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
The doctor once met Robin Hood, who challenged him to a sword duel, and the doctor responded with a spoon, and he won.
That's amazing. A Secret Service agent walked up to Rick Sanchez, and Rick said, "Don't touch me, you will die." And the guy kept walking, and he said, "No, I'm serious. I'm not gonna like kill you. You will just die. Endless blackness, instant death." The guy touched him and dropped dead. The guy touched his fucking coat and dropped dead on the floor. The president was there, and he was like, "What happened?" And Rick said, "Death. Instant death." So yeah, okay, cool.
But how
we
though?
can
Like, how exactly does he do that?
Same as
this
the
guy has a
timey,
reason
whiny
given, right?
bits. It's the
this
same
guy
thing.
fucking walked up, touched him, and dropped dead.
Because
So,
he just
so
have, like,
let's
a
just
death
say, in
field
terms of like
around him?
impressive, crazy shit, Rick's definitely got it, and that's not the only technology. It's obviously some piece of technology that's just not explained because that's just not what the bit is about. But he has plenty of technology. He has power armor.
sure. Well,
that allowed
let's
him
talk
that
about
he-
Rick's tech.
Yeah. His power armor that allowed him to engage with those dog cat people on the Purge planet and start murdering them. So if he got that on against the Doctor, he'd just blow him up. What the fuck is the Doctor going to do in a hand-to-hand fight with a dude in power armor? Nothing, really.
I mean,
right?
he just shut it down with a sonic screwdriver, but okay.
Yeah.
What happens
Like the
when
sonic
Rick...
screwdriver would just shut it down.
Yeah. Okay, would it get past his force field that Rick has around him constantly?
Yeah, it can redirect energy. It's done that too. In fact, there's a very specific scene where it does that to a Dalek. Daleks have force fields that are able to block pretty much anything. That was, you even saw it in that episode that you watched, although that was just against bullets. The Daleks are the deadliest thing in the universe. And then in the Day of the Doctor, they use multiple Doctors are able to use their sonic screwdriver to bypass the energy shield and just obliterate the Dalek, which is, I think, the only time we've ever seen the sonic screwdriver actually like destroy something. But to be fair, a Dalek is a machine, and it could destroy a machine because it has blown up ships and stuff like that.
The sonic screwdriver is
cyborg.
also a thing he holds in his hand, right? It's a thing that needs to be activated. Yes, it's like a device that he presses and it goes. Yeah,
Yes.
That's a hypothetical question. Yes, of course it is. Rick can dodge a satellite laser from orbit that shot down from orbit within about 1 to 2 seconds, and he dodged it point blank. So he would just shoot it out of the Doctor's hand with his laser watch. Like if the sonic screwdriver was able to incapacitate a piece of Rick's tech, Rick would just pull out another piece of tech to then disable that. Like, he'd need to have like an army of sonic screwdrivers in order to take down all of Rick's tech. Like, Rick would just see that and go, "Okay, done." That is now.
Well, he
that is
does
now no
technically
longer
have
an option.
two. He has the sonic sunglasses. I want to get to the speed thing in just a little bit.
Yeah. Do
the
it
Doctor
now.
does have sonic sunglasses, which function the same as the sonic screwdriver.
Okay, Rick would just swing his laser watch and bisect the Doctor entirely. Like,
I guess I'm pulling this out already. All
Please
right,
do. Please do.
Brian. I do have a video
Ooh, yay.
that I would like to show about how fast the Doctor can be.
Is it the laser dodging video?
The 4 nanoseconds?
Yeah.
Yeah. Missy is the master.
In case you were wondering if I already knew about it.
Yeah, like, look at it. He's so, according to Missy, he's being attacked by indestructible android assassins, and in 4 nanoseconds does this.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's
And then he
definitely
teleports.
like relativistic to mildly faster than light. If it's like 4
Fast boy.
nanoseconds, probably around
Fast
there.
guy.
Yeah. Guess who
Yeah.
can pilot a ship and dogfight a ship that can fly across entire galaxies within minutes? That would be Rick.
The Doctor.
It's so fast.
I mean, that's what the Doctor literally does.
The TARDIS? Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking about? He's
Yeah.
not steering it out. He's not dogfighting with it. It goes from place to
he
place.
is. Yeah, he does. He used what is it called? A battle TARDIS in the war, or war TARDIS in the war. He absolutely dogfights with it. And the TARDIS has dogfought before. It just doesn't do it. It's not flying around shooting lasers. It's like grabbing things and throwing things around. The TARDIS is absolutely a spaceship that can dogfight in a way.
At massively
I don't
faster
know if
than light
that's
speeds.
necessarily. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it time travels too. Like it could just go wherever he needs it to. And the TARDIS is also
Rick
sentient.
can time travel as well.
Well, sure.
Can the Doctor stop time?
There is a device that he can use to stop time. Yes.
Why did you say that instead of just yes? Is there
Well, he himself doesn't
asterisk
have
to
the
that?
ability to.
He does not have the ability. What device is it?
He would have to. Well, okay. So
Here we go.
one of the things about the Doctor is that he has a lot of on his travels. He gathers a lot of things that we
Yes.
just don't really know what happened to them afterwards.
Yeah,
And
non-standard.
A lot of
equipment.
them, I think, you can kind of assume are in the TARDIS. There's one that I think is very important to this fight that I think there's a good argument for it being in the TARDIS. But the one that is specifically able to control all the time would be the Key of Time. Key of Time is technically a bunch of different pieces that are scattered around time and space. He's had to gather it multiple times.
Mhm.
It's debatable whether or not the last time he got it, he kept it. He probably did not. That being said, the White Guardian did give him a ring that allows him to just teleport to the location of all the different pieces. So he could just go get them.
Okay.
And then if he gets those pieces together, then he has control over all of time and space. But it does require getting the pieces.
So he has this option to control all of time and space in every single Doctor Who episode.
Yes.
And he just never uses it.
Yes. Well, that's what I'm talking about with canon.
There's no context. There's no context. to that.
There's a whole
he's just-
season.
he has an Infinity Gauntlet at his disposal at every single moment.
Potentially he does.
Potentially,
And-
why potentially?
Well, because we don't know where it is technically.
But he can
we
go
just
get it,
know
right?
that
If he can teleport, to it, then
Theoretically,
it's
he
with
could.
him.
Yes. Again, this goes back to the idea that like Doctor Who canon is just a mess. We
Yeah,
don't know.
The writing's not what we're debating about.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I think it's important if somebody like if I had access to the Infinity Gauntlet all the time, but was still like, fuck, this is this task I'm doing is so difficult, even though I could just teleport into and get the Infinity Gauntlet and solve my problem at every single like moment. There has to be a reason why he's not using it. I'm investigating the context on that.
Sure. I mean, I would argue that in a plot context, he does not think he deserves to use it. He does not think he should have that much control, that much power. Like part of the reason, the whole plot, I think, I can't remember which Doctor stories about the Key to Time, but the whole plot of it is that like there's some evil guardians who want to use it to control time, and the Doctor's like, no one should have that amount of power. So he very specifically scatters it at the end of his season. So I would say, and there's a couple of different stories in New Who where they actually do explore the idea of like, well, I have all this amazing power and all this amazing ability. Why can't time bend to me? And then the end of the story is, oh, I probably shouldn't do that. So I would say, even though it's not technically explored, because as far as I know, Key to Time has not been brought up in New Who, I would say the reason is because he doesn't think he should use that amount of power. But in the context of a death battle, that's different. We need to give him everything that is available. And it's not about morals. Like we specifically remove that kind of morality from death battle in order to, allow Batman to kill, right? So that would have to be removed from the Doctor as well, which again is kind of one of the weird things about bringing the Doctor into this sort of story, because the Doctor's story in a lot of cases is this is a man who has so much power over what happens, and he specifically chooses not to use it in the way that could destroy the universe. Again, that's a great reason why the time war is a thing. That is so impactful on him, because it is exactly what he fears he could do. So that would be why he doesn't just use it. Also, like in the context of the universe, if he brings together his universes, if he brings together the key to time, like to solve one problem, well, now the key to time is in a place where other enemies might know where it is, so he doesn't want other people to get it, etc. But again, doesn't apply to Death Battle.
Well, guess who has no moral compunctions or any problem whatsoever, or any plot-related reasons why he doesn't use everything he has.
I understand, and again, it doesn't matter.
And Rick doesn't care. Rick has no reason to care. Has no conveniences keeping him from using his best technology. He has a portal gun. He can always portal back to his garage, which he does always in the middle of missions, to grab technology and use it, including a device that stops time, giving him a massive immediate advantage.
The Doctor has resisted time stops before, several times, including against the God of Time. And Kronos tried to stop time and he resisted it.
Por favor. He just stopped time and he was just like, no, time stops don't affect me at all.
Yeah, he was just able to move through it.
Why?
Because he could.
He said no, thank you.
I don't think that. I think you're reading that off of some wiki and not actually.
I'm less familiar with old Who than new Who.
Well,
so I'm not entirely sure.
That's what you meant by new Who. I was like, what the fuck is new Who? But it was like because there were like a lot of like weird words in Doctor Who, so I thought new Who was a thing. You mean
I believe
Doctor
he just
Who,
could.
Series.
I believe he just could.
He just could for no reason whatsoever.
Because he's a Time Lord or the Timeless Child or whatever he may be.
I highly doubt that. I have big doubts about the veracity of that. I think some context is missing if you're looking off.
Anybody in chat familiar with old Who knows this? Because like I know he's done this multiple times. No, he just could. I'm pretty dang sure he just could.
Time Lord is in the name. I mean,
see, here's the thing.
Why doesn't Rick use the time machine to stop all his problems? He doesn't need to.
Let me talk about the Doctor for a little bit. We've talked a lot about me trying to fend from your bogus claims
to the Doctor.
Let me talk about what the Doctor can do.
Yeah, please. We're waiting.
So the Doctor can see time. This is why he's not like a person. He can see time move. He can predict the future. He can predict the past. It's the Superman thing, right? Like Superman can see atoms and whatever moving through him. A Time Lord or whatever the Doctor is can see time physically. So that's why he's able to like move through time that's frozen.
I don't think that makes any sense.
Welcome to Doctor Who.
Yeah,
make up timing why we bullshit all the time.
I think that you're making that up, but we can move on.
No, this is a major aspect of it. You can't just claim that I'm making something up and not say why you think that. Like you
because
you're not giving
it, you're not explaining it. You're just saying he can.
I just did.
No, you said he can see time, which is why he can move through time. That doesn't make any sense.
That is exactly what makes sense. That's why. That is exactly why.
He can see time.
It's exactly something we'd hear in the show.
Time affects him differently.
Okay, differently enough that he can walk through stopped time. All of time stopped, and it just doesn't.
Yes,
but you're not talking about the example.
The example is Kronos hits him with a time stop, and he keeps moving.
And this is new Who. This is a thing.
This is old Who.
You can but you're saying that you don't know it for a reason, and that's why I'm nailing you on it because it's a big counter. So it's important that you know. And I don't think that a sufficient reason has been given. Benjamin.
I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to say to this guy. Like, I literally explained it to him, and he's like, but you're not explaining it.
No, you said he can see time, and that's why he can move through stopped time, which isn't
I said time affects him differently.
Liam, I got
seeing time is an example of that.
Yeah.
Liam, I gotta ask. If time is being thrown at you from the God of Time, can you make any other argument that Rick has anything close to that? We're arguing about his ability to stop time to make a point about a feat. So I'm trying to figure out if Rick has something that can match that.
He had a device in order to, I believe it was win at the stock market. And the way that it worked was that, I'm trying to remember specifically, but essentially what it was doing was it was like nuking every universe simultaneously that, or nuking every timeline simultaneously, the infinite number of timelines that didn't give you the result you wanted in the stock market, so that only the result you wanted was available. So he has technology that pretty casually destroys infinite timelines without even really being super crazy about it. Like he mentions it offhand to Morty. He's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that thing that works like that, yeah, it's destroying infinite universes when it does that." So yeah, actually, I do think Rick has some pretty impressive firepower. Good question.
Okay.
Good
Well,
tee up.
I would like to actually start talking about the Doctor's firepower. I would like to actually talk about the Doctor's firepower because I haven't actually talked about any of it. But first, I would like to talk about our sponsor for this week's episode of Death Metal Cast. Let's talk about Blue Chew. Hey, Blue Chew, thank you for sponsoring this Death Metal Cast, despite how stupid we can be. All right, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Feeling confident can take you far in life, especially when it's time to step up to the plate, and that is where Blue Chew comes in. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, and as a chewable tablet at a fraction of the cost. The process is simple. Sign up at bluechew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days, and it's all done online. So no doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no going to the pharmacy, quick and easy. So if you could benefit from the extra confidence when it's time to perform, Blue Chew can help. And we've got a special deal for you. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code DBC at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's bluechew.com, promo code DBC to receive your first month free. Visit bluechew.com for more details and important safety information. Thank you, Blue Chew, for sponsoring this podcast. Now let me talk about what the Doctor can do. Okay, so a couple things that I really want to get through about what the Doctor can do.
Yeah.
So he is a telepath and a telekinetic. He can read somebody's thoughts forcibly. He can download anything he wants from that person. He literally did this to oh god, who was the comedian who was on that episode? James Corden. He just like,
why would you
mind? I think it's called a mind dump or a mental dump or whatever. I don't know, but like
Rick can erase memories. There's a gun that erases memories. Counter to that. Boom, boom.
I mean, the Doctor could do that too. The Doctor can hypnotize somebody by just thinking it. But basically, the point is the Doctor has a telepathic ability that can just instantly download everything from a person, and he instantly is able to like sift through it all. So if there's anything that Rick has that's a secret or that the Doctor wouldn't know about, he'll just know about it. He'll know everything Rick has.
The mind eraser gun and just wipes.
But he would know that the mind eraser gun is coming because he would learn about it, and then he would hypnotize Rick to not use it, or just pull it out of his hand because he's a telekinetic. He could pull stuff out of people's hands.
Rick is surrounded by a force field. You're not going to be able to pull anything out of his hand. You're not really going to be able to touch him.
We've already covered the forceful thing. The sonic screwdriver can take care of that. Sonic screwdriver.
Rick would just shoot the sonic screwdriver, right? It's just a little pen. Yeah, go on.
Let me talk a little bit about what the sonic screwdriver can do. So it can hack basically anything. It's hacked weapons, spaceships, force fields, teleporters, explosives, any kind of computer, and of course any kind of door because it is a screwdriver. It can scan pretty much anything. If it's not like, if for whatever reason he's not going to get information from his memory dump thing, he can scan the thing, and then because it's Doctor Who, he looks at the screwdriver and he just knows whatever he scans. If it is some sort of medical issue, if it is some sort of technological issue, he just knows it. I don't know why. The show never explains why, and it knows that. He just knows things. Like I said, he could overpower a Dalek with the screwdriver. He can redirect energy, pretty much any kind of energy or physical object. He's redirected bullets, he's redirected beams, he's redirected metallic matter. Could
he redirect like laser blasts from an entire army of thousands of Mr. Meeseeks?
Theoretically, yeah.
No, he can't. Theoretically, I can jump to the top of Mount Everest because no one's ever seen me do it. How does he redirect it? Explain.
By pointing the screwdriver at it, and then he moves it.
So there's like an entire, there's like thousands of Mr. Meeseeks surrounding him and firing from behind him, and he just redirects all of it. Is what you're saying?
Well, in that very specific situation, I don't think he would rely on.
It's not a very specific.
I think he would rely on something else.
He has
I think he would probably activate his. He would probably activate a perception filter so the Meeseeks couldn't see him, or his invisibility watch, or both.
Rick has technology
So,
that can see invisible people. Right there, where the invisible
perception filter is a little different. Perception filter is not invisibility. It is literally making you unable to recognize that something exists. Even if you know it is there, you can't actually see it. Like it's one of my favorite little pieces of tech from Doctor Who.
Gotcha.
It literally tricks your mind into thinking that it is not there. It's very difficult to overwhelm.
Does it work on technology or just people?
People. So,
okay,
well,
because his ship, he could just tell his ship, "Hey, kill the Doctor," and the ship would do that.
I think it works against Cybermen. I think it works against Cybermen, and they'd be using technology.
Let
so,
me finish.
No.
Let me finish.
Well, I'm answering the question.
Yeah.
I think it works against Cybermen, who would be using a robotic brain. So I think it does work against technology.
Okay. Then I think Rick would just blow up the planet
Okay.
with his ship. Can also survive the planet's being blown up.
All right. I'm still going through the doctor's things. If for some reason he lost the TARDIS, there are time bracelets that he's had that are in the TARDIS. So theoretically, if we're giving him everything, he should have a time bracelet available, and that could just let him travel through time. But the TARDIS itself it has to be part of this fight, right? It is his main thing. It is bizarre in how it works. Like, so it is obviously a time travel spaceship, right? It's also sort of like a tugboat is kind of what it does. It can pull things that are much larger than itself, including planets. It's technically sentient to a certain extent. How far it is, I'm not entirely sure, but it once was put into a person, and the person functioned, so sentient enough to be a person. And the interior of it is under its own control. So there are multiple control rooms within the TARDIS, and when you enter the TARDIS, normally you enter the main control room, unless the TARDIS doesn't want you to. It can basically put you wherever it wants you to be inside the TARDIS, and it can just make up rooms as it goes. When it's bigger than it is on the outside, that means that it's practically infinitely sized. Like there's a whole episode where they're like wandering through the TARDIS and they get lost because the TARDIS has like been hacked or whatever. And it's like, or I think it's a completely different entity that's in the TARDIS. And they're like stuck in it, and it's de-aging them and re-aging them. Like it's aging people within the TARDIS. So if Rick goes into the TARDIS has full control over him, where he is, how old he is. And can
if only Rick had some
antimatter,
which can kill higher dimensional beings, like that fart gas. If only Rick had a weapon like that could kill higher dimensional things, like the TARDIS.
I mean, I don't know how he's gonna get the TARDIS when the TARDIS itself is like an infinitely sized object, and he'd have to like attack the heart of the TARDIS, which is
you're on the inside
the TARDIS, wherever the TARDIS wants it to be. So it'd be a little difficult to get to. But either way,
the rest of the TARDIS would
two other
be fine,
there's one weapon that I really want to make sure we cover before we move on, because we also need to get to the sneak peek. You've been talking about how he has weapons that can attack multiversal level and whatnot, right? I need to talk about the moment. It's what the Doctor thought he used to end the Time War. And again, the Time War was a war that existed, as he described it, as a war in every time and place. Wait, hang on. I want to make sure I say this right. I had it written down somewhere. Okay, it's a war that existed in every part of time across all of reality. So it's essentially a multiversal war. Every possible timeline was involved with this war between the Time Lords and the Daleks, to the point where even with all this incredible technology that the Time Lords and the Daleks have, there was no way for it to end without destroying everything. So the Doctor was going to use the moment. And the way the moment works is it was originally designed to erase a certain type of person. So it's essentially a genocide device. That's what the first, I think, Time Lord who made it used it for. By the time the Doctor got it, it was so powerful that it became sentient. And it could basically do exactly what he wanted it to do, which was reach out across every possible timeline, every possible point in time, and kill every single Time Lord and every single Dalek. And technically that didn't happen because the story, but it is capable of doing that. And he has it, so he could just use that.
Where does he have
this
it?
This is another example of like, we technically don't know where it is because it's Doctor Who, but it's definitely on the TARDIS. Like, come on, it's got to be on the TARDIS, right? Because there's no other place it could be. There's no way he put it back on Gallifrey, because if he did, then they would have he would have thought that they would just use it to reverse what he did, to put Gallifrey in the pocket dimension. Oh, he used it to create an all new dimension to hide Gallifrey away. So, or actually he used the TARDIS to do that, not the moment. He never actually used the moment. But so like, he's definitely didn't put it back where it was. So the only place for him to have the moment would be in one of those secret rooms in the TARDIS. And this is actually sort of implied in a comic later on, when the moment, the entity of the moment reappears and talks to one of his companions, and there's like a whole time travel, plot. But it ends with bringing the companion to the Doctor, and it's sort of implied, because that's when the moment reveals itself, that the moment is there as well, and it's the 12th Doctor, and that would be after the time, or the day of the Doctor where the moment was brought up. So also, he could if wherever he put it, he could reasonably just pop over there and grab it, even if it wasn't in the TARDIS. But it's got to be in the TARDIS, right? Like, where else would he put it? So the moment, I think, is something that he could use in this situation, and it's just over. Like, there's nothing that can stop that.
I actually can't believe I actually thought of a counter to this as we were talking, because I was like, what am I trying to think of? What am I trying to think of? So this, I want to point out that is conjecture that he has it, right? We don't actually know for sure, but let's say he does. Guess who knows about that? Rick.
Oh my God, are we
because
bringing
Rick
this up?
knows Doctor Who.
Oh my God.
And Rick is aware of, I don't know if he built it or if he is aware of, or just simply knows it, is aware of technology that manipulates the plot itself. There's an episode where there's a Rick and Morty that are technically not real. They're like a lower dimensional Rick and Morty that are like aware of the fact that they're in a story and manipulating the plot. And actual higher dimensional regular Rick was like owned this. It was like a toy to him, basically. It was like nothing. So like, if you're talking about weaponry that can reshape reality and like kill everybody, I think the only thing more powerful than that is something that affects the plot itself, which is technology that Rick considers so far beneath him that it's like literally a toy that is bought and sold. So yeah, I know that's speculative, and I need to like rewatch the episode, because I was watching it and I was like, ooh, versus debating mind. Activate.
I mean, that's even more speculative than me saying that he has the moment, because at least he would know where the moment is, regardless of whether or not it's on the TARDIS.
Maybe
he would have put it there.
We have no idea about that. But the fact is that
he would
technology
have had
that's
to put
even
it
more
somewhere.
advanced, technology that's even more like advanced than what you mentioned, is at Rick's disposal. So again, I need to actually look again to see like what the extent of that, how Rick would be able to use that, but like plot manipulation stuff. And he's aware of the Doctor, so that's also a huge advantage. He knows who Doctor Who is.
Yes, Semine in the chat, can the Doctor travel multiverses? Yes, he does. The TARDIS is able to travel through multiverses and go to.
Yeah, I can too. I mean,
I think that's what they're talking about. The specific example I'm thinking of is him being able to go visit Gallifrey after he puts in a pocket dimension.
Right, like different universes rather than just time. Yeah.
The TARDIS can go, as far as I'm aware, basically anywhere or anytime he wants it to. I think actually there's an episode where he talks about it being able to go into other multiverses, and he's like, oh, that's really dangerous though, because it's like other people, and like it could cause like this is Doctor Who. They make up, words all the time. It could cause like time shenanigans where like timelines cross over. So he specifically tries to avoid it. But
it's a similar thing with Rick, where like the Citadel of Ricks, I think it was them, like walled off sections of the multiverse because they were like, we just want like, this is like, these are the infinite universes where Rick is the smartest being, and we want to keep them separate from the infinite amount of universes where Rick isn't the smartest being, because Ricks are just such complete
all right.
Yeah. We
We have other things we need to cover. This has been taking up so long. All right, let's
dense.
fuck it. Get to that sneak peek. Let's just play the sneak
Let's
peek.
do it,
People want to
let's
see
do
it. Just watch it.
I'm
Let's
so
watch
Let's
this.
excited.
go.
We don't have time for this. Hell yeah. All right.
Amazing.
I told Gerardo
Well-
like, end it on the stab. It's gonna look really cool if you end
amazing.
it on the stab.
Boba Fett versus Predator is coming this weekend while we are at RTX. If any of you are at RTX, we're going to be there.
Hopping on a
we-
plane.
Do it.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. We got a panel on Saturday,
Saturday.
I think.
Yeah.
We'll be showing some stuff. If you can join us there, it's going to be great.
I got COVID in
Um,
May, so I'm totally immune. So I'm gonna be like,
No,
bump,
is that- that's how it works?
Yeah.
You have 90
don't-
days.
don't-
I'm told.
Don't say that. But yeah, we will all be at RTX. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope to see you there. But we do have a few other things. Want to make sure we cover. I think we're wrapped up on the Doctor Who.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know a
Sanchez
lot more
argument.
more to add.
We'll get to community arguments in just a bit. But I think
Oh,
we can
he has
bring it
infinite
full.
lives. Rick has infinite lives. 'cause
Oh
that's
my
how he's
gosh!
talking.
All right,
Please know
hey,
that you guys
guess-
give us enough to think about.
yeah.
Guess
Plenty.
what's
Really.
Guess what's coming back, everybody? A show that I think a lot of people are going to be excited about.
Oh, yeah.
Desk of Death Battle is returning. Jocelyn is
Whoa.
coming back.
Let's go.
in animated
It's the
form.
Jossmeister.
Sure.
Just fucking roll with it.
The Jossmeister, that's terrible. Is coming back with her own show July 18th for first and YouTube members, and the 19th for everyone else. This is going to be early for YouTube members, so those of you who have been supporting us on YouTube by joining our membership and becoming Death Battle champions, we want to thank you with giving you this show a little bit early. Very excited for it.
I saw somebody in the chat or the say cartoon reviewer pose. Jocelyn's
Yes.
like,
Yeah, very much so.
I mean, yeah. Accurate.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how Jocelyn works, right? Lisa has been so much fun to work with. We've
As
already
always.
recorded the episodes, and we're working on the animation, and it's a lot of fun. I hope you guys like it. But yes, that comes back July 18th for members of the YouTube channel. So go ahead and sign up if you haven't. All right, the other big announcement that we want to talk about, Embu, let's talk about this. It's a big thing about the Death Battle official Discord. We've brought this up a few times in the past as we were bringing the membership thing up, but it's finally happening. We are going to be having an official Discord coming out in July. And this is actually, it's a little tricky because it's not like a brand new Discord server. We're actually working with several community members, several of you wonderful people, to turn an existing Death Battle community Discord server. I think it's literally called the Death Battle Community Discord server. It is becoming the official Death Battle Discord. Right, Embu?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Starting next month, this is going to be the best place for all of y'all community members to come together and talk about all the content you love under the Death Battle umbrella. We're going to have places for you to show off your art and your creativity. And then in general, just have a lot of activities with super special themes. And then even all of it culminates to this monthly event where you get to interact with the fine folks on this screen and countless others. I just can't talk the hype up anymore. Can't even contain it. I'm about to explode just for the fact that like all of these things are going to be including me and some of the incredible mod team that we have working with us. The final event for every month is going to be called the Death Battle Community Clash. And we just can't emphasize enough how much we want this to be the home base for the community. When you guys think of where you want to go for Death Battle stuff, you'll think of this server, and it's really going to be for y'all. And ultimately, we just hope you love it. We're going to have places for all the stuff that you could ever think of that you like in part of our Death Battle stuff, kind of like our Death Battle catalog, if you will.
Yeah,
Love it.
Yeah, and Embu here in Chelsea have been, and a bunch of others have been working really hard to make sure that this is the place to go, and that this is going to work out. Especially since, like, you know, at the very start of this, when we were talking about the membership thing, like, it's large. One of the reasons why we started the membership thing was because we saw how the community, you guys were building up a community that was really cool to watch, and we wanted to make sure we supported that. And we are definitely keeping that in mind with this Discord server. Several of the events that you were talking about, there are several that have been a thing on this server for a long time now, and we don't want to mess with that. Like, you guys are doing some amazing stuff and having fun with it, and we're like, yeah, stick with that. This is great. We just want to help make things better. So if definitely keep an eye out for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, Embu. I think it's going to be really cool to see it all come together.
I'm excited too. Can't wait. I did forget to mention one final point. Everybody in the server right now, we want y'all to know how grateful all of us are. It couldn't have been built upon a better foundation. And so everybody's getting grandfathered in when the champions start coming to enjoy this party, enjoy the fun.
Yeah, speaking of champions, I don't know if you're joining just because of the Discord server. If so, I hope you enjoy it. See, Pinky Fox just became a champion, and Joaquin Garcia. So really cool to see those showing up in the chat. My face is like crazy right there. I don't know why. Really cool to see you.
Come for the fun.
All right. Well, also Embu, since this is your first Death Battle cast, what do you think of this stupid shit that we do here? What was going through your head as Liam and I were shouting at each other about how two fictional people can beat each other up with non-existing timey-wimey
We don't
powers?
actually yell at each other in actual meetings, by the way. I should clarify.
Yes,
this is only for show. Yeah.
Oh,
What's going through your head? Now that you're
I'll
here.
say the first thing that I thought of was, wow, these guys are definitely not punching each other at all because they're nerds. And they're like shooting lasers at each other with force shields.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, you know, one of the first things for Community Clash we were thinking about was how many people are going to want to argue with Liam on those special event nights. And I realized, oh no, I can't be thinking that. But when we're talking about Doctor Who and Rick, I can't really get over the fact that one of them is a human and the other one definitely isn't. So it's kind of something that I've been mulling over and trying to figure out how that plays into the fact when the force shields are all said and done and the sonic screwdrivers are all used up, what's going to happen when these two guys have to start throwing bows, you know? And so that is going to be an interesting conversation. I think we're going to have to flesh out a little bit stronger because one of these guys has two hearts. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes. I did want to... I actually did want to mention something because I said earlier that I was going to elaborate on it. So real quick, the Disintegration Ray, one of the regenerations is because of the Disintegration Ray from a Dalek, which hit him but did not disintegrate him, which normally it instantly kills a person. Instead, he just wandered around for like 20 minutes and then was like, oh no, I'm about to regenerate, but I don't want to because I'm David Tennant.
And his ship just hit him with a fucking
I'm just
blast
not going
of
to.
planet-destroying energy. Like, it's not... Yeah, okay.
Well, I know, like, power level wise, it's not the largest thing that we talked about, but I did want to mention it because I said I would clarify that.
Rick would give him
earlier.
a smooch on the cheek, and he would explode.
And he would be so happy. It would be such a joyous moment.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to this. So we're gonna bring up the poll, so you guys can vote. But I do want to check on the answers you guys have left in the community tab. Let's see what we've got. Josh, you want to read this?
Sure. Rick's machines are casually planet level, his car even once being powered by a tiny universe. He's beat Knuckle Brawled he's beat knuckle brawled with a
I think
cloud
bare
god.
knuckle brawls.
Bare knuckle brawled, sure, with a cloud god, shot a gun into another person that spawned
Oh, yeah.
himself as he died, and created a multiverse loop where he would always be the smartest being. The only one getting
Wibbly wobbly.
wibbly wobbly in this fight is Rick after a celebration drink.
Rick.
Wow.
Okay.
Violently
Okay.
alcoholic.
That was hard to say all of that, as you could tell.
Well, we got one more answer for you to read. Hopefully it's a little easier.
Great.
Let's bring up the second one.
Wouldn't Rick's nihilistic attitude ultimately result in his downfall? The guy is too arrogant to think he'll fail. The Doctor just needs to prolong the battle long enough to figure out the situation and how to end Rick once and for all. The Doctor takes on opponents who are threats to the entire universe, but Rick is only a threat to his relatively small collection of universes. Interesting point.
Multiverse, yeah.
Multiverse.
Yeah. And again, Doctor can just mind read him to figure out everything he needs right away.
And Rick could just erase his memory with his erase
He
memory.
can
gun.
just get his memory back by mind reading again.
Rick would not know about that.
Okay,
because he
that's
knows
the
about
thing.
Doctor
Stop him with the
Who.
slot screen. All right. Let's
Oh,
go ahead
man.
and get to this vote. So we are going to start with the community poll. This is the poll that was on the community tab that you guys voted on before we started arguing. Let's go ahead and bring that up. So Rick
Wow.
won this with 72%.
Whoa.
I'm
Wow.
disappointed.
Yeah.
What
But
is
you know-
happening?
I thought it
This
would at
is
least
not
be
the be all
closer.
end all.
Jesus.
Doctor hasn't been through. I'm not really gonna.
Yeah,
get into
yeah,
it.
yeah. Yeah.
But all right, so let's get to our votes. Josh, what are you thinking?
Okay, so I mean, for all intents and purposes, like these are two characters who are like capable of literally anything, right? I mean, the way that the shows have portrayed them is they have a solution for everything, something up their sleeves all the time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go back to what Embu said. Like, so if that's true for both of them, then what we have is a Time Lord who's existed for thousands of years and a human man. And Rick has all these amazing contingencies to like make sure he never fails or dies or whatever. But like, I'm assuming that the Doctor is capable of the similar things, but has had thousands and thousands of more years to like do potentially the same thing, like protect himself under any crazy circumstance. So I'm going Doctor. I gotta go Doctor Who.
You wound me, Josh.
I
You wound
approve.
me.
All right, we got one vote for Rick, one vote for Doctor. Embu, what are you thinking?
There's not a lot I can say that I don't think Josh touched on. I think a point that I didn't hear in a lot of the conversations, but I did hear while perusing all of our little spots, was that Rick has a lot of Toon Force capabilities. Man operates in a certain medium in which he's able to do things that the Doctor can't. So I wonder how much that may play in terms of helping him when he's fighting, again, a Time Lord with two hearts and a lot of other biological and anatomical capabilities that we just can't compare to like people like you or I. But Toon Force aside, I can't wrap my head around how much more destructive Doctor is in all the timelines that weren't cut just for him to be the smartest cat. So I think I got to vote for the Doctor.
Yes.
You dangled
All right.
me. You dangled
Really,
Toon
really,
Force
yeah,
out
yeah,
in
yeah.
front of me.
Yeah, I don't know.
And you
All right,
snuck it
that's
away.
2 for the Doctor. That's 1. This could be a tie, and we might have to go to a tiebreaker. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up with the poll vote. Looks like we have almost 600 votes in. The Doctor with 54%. Wow, it's kind of close though.
It is kind of
Pretty
close, actually.
54% to 46%. The Doctor takes it with 3. Oh, no, it's still changing now. Okay.
It's going
down. Nope. We're
It's
taking it as it comes
pickle,
up.
the Pickle Rick fans, they're here.
The Doctor takes it 3-1, which is great.
Heartbreaking.
Finally,
No, it's not. It's bad.
Liam gets an L.
It's why it's in my name. L. It's the first letter of my name. I'm used to it. I also have W in the second letter of my last name, so I guess that also technically works. It's a nice, like a
I don't have-
yin-yang type deal. You don't have either of them.
either in either of my names.
Get destroyed.
I say that
have
like
two
I have a
L's.
secret like second name.
I
All
have two
right. Yeah. Okay. But no W's.
No dubs.
Wait, no, you
I
don't.
win the
Oh, well.
moral
But the M's upside down. though.
battle.
Oh,
There you go.
Win
You
the
have
moral battle.
It's
secret
all about
W's.
perspective.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so we are at time. Thank you all so much for watching. Embu, thanks for joining us. I don't know if this is necessarily a fun episode to watch, but
Yeah.
we do some stupid stuff. But the Doctor does win. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about this as an actual episode, diving into the broader history of these characters, especially there's no way I touched on. I know there's a million things I didn't even cover with the Doctor, and there's probably a million things I don't even know about the Doctor.
Such an incredible, two incredible characters to talk about in rundowns. Like I'm like salivating at the thought of.
But I don't even know how we would even argue for either of them to win. Like legitimately.
It'd be like a 25-minute,
100-minute
50 episode.
years.
It would be a very difficult episode to make, but honestly, I love these
fun.
characters, so I think it'd be fun to do. It'd be tough. All right, let us know what you think. If this should be an actual Death Battle episode. Again, stay tuned. Boba Fett versus Predator is coming this weekend. Same time we are at RTX. If you are in Austin this weekend, we will be having a panel on Saturday in the Austin Convention Center. It's going to be good. Then Discord is coming next month as well, so keep an eye out for that. We'll keep you posted on the Discord and all that, as well as Desk of Death Battle, which will be kicking off July 18th. Again, members get to see it early. So if you're not a YouTube member or YouTube member on the Death Battle YouTube channel, I don't know how to say that. Whatever. If you're not a Death Battle YouTube member
in existence,
go do that. Or we would appreciate it if you can. We would appreciate it, the support. All right, that's a wrap. Let's go ahead and end this freaking show
with more Boba Fett versus Predator.
We will get to the sneak peek, and
bro.
we will show it one more time. As always, be kind to others, be kind to yourself, be awesome. We'll see you next week. Take care.